Good morning, church family. This morning, my quiet time is partly in the book of John, and we're talking about chapter 4, the interview of Jesus with the woman at the well. And he asked her for a drink and all of that. And uh, they get into a discussion. And he says, "You know what? If you knew who I was, you'd be asking me for living water, and you'd never thirst again. You'd never have to come back here to draw water again." And she says, "That sounds great. Let's have it." He says, "Okay, go get your husband." And she says, "I don't have a husband." He says, "Yeah, you're right. You don't. You've had 5 men, and the man you currently have is not your husband." So she shifts the debate, or she kind of gets out of that line of questioning and that line of conversation because it's getting a little too close for home. And she wants to talk about one of the current issues of the day, which is where to worship. And she says, "We worship on the mountain here. You Jews say that the only place to worship is in Jerusalem." And it's really, to me, it seems like kind of a smokescreen to get away from the focus, to focus off of her. And Jesus answers her, and he says that in verse 21 of chapter 4, "Believe me, the hour is coming when you will worship neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem will you worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. The hour is coming and now is when true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For such the Father is seeking such to worship him. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." And this is kind of like the way it is today. We get sidetracked by so many issues concerning worship. Well, I can't worship if we don't have hymns, or I can't worship if we don't have praise songs. I can't worship if there's women in the room wearing pants. I can't worship if men are wearing long hair. And what is the real issue? The real issue here is worshiping God in spirit and in truth. Two things there: in spirit and in truth. Worshiping him in spirit means that I'm getting my whole heart into it. I'm paying attention to the words that I'm using to praise him with, and I'm being encouraged by that, being built up by that. And then I'm worshiping him in truth. In other words, what I'm worshiping is based on the word of God. I'm worshiping him according to his word. So I hope that encourages you. I hope that affects how you worship this week. And so I hope you have a good, godly day.